When you reach your 60s, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who will truly be there for you? In your younger years, the answer might have felt certain: your children, your lifelong friends, the family you built around you. But as time moves forward, life tends to shift in ways we don't always expect. Priorities change. Schedules fill up. People we once relied on become less available, not because they stopped caring, but because life happens. This video is not about blaming or pushing anyone away. It's about facing the reality that many of us encounter after 60, the realization that our traditional support system may not always be as solid as we hoped. But here's the good news: you have the power to build a stronger foundation yourself. Today, we'll explore 6 powerful sources of support that often prove to be more dependable than even family. These pillars will help you stand tall, feel secure, and stay independent no matter what life throws your way. If that message resonates with you already, type number 1 in the comments so I know you're with me, and stay until the end. Because these insights might just change the way you look at aging and support forever. Pillar 1: Financial stability. Let's begin with perhaps the most overlooked but most essential pillar of all: your financial stability. When it comes to dependable support in your later years, it is not a person. It is your ability to stand on your own financially. Money itself does not guarantee happiness. But what it does offer is something just as valuable: peace of mind, freedom to make your own choices, and protection when life takes an unexpected turn. Many people assume their children or loved ones will step in if money ever runs low. And yes, that's often what we hope for. But hope isn't a strategy, especially after 60. Take the story of Walter, a 72-year-old father who had always been generous with his children. He helped pay for college, assisted with down payments, and never hesitated to lend a hand. But when a sudden health issue wiped out most of his savings, he looked to his kids for support, only to find that they were juggling their own families, debts, and responsibilities, not out of neglect, but because life doesn't pause for anyone. That's why building your own financial resilience is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It does not mean becoming rich. It means creating stability, an emergency fund that's ready when you need it, an income stream you can rely on, and the knowledge to manage your finances wisely so you won't have to depend on anyone else, even those who love you deeply. Ask yourself honestly: do I have enough saved to handle a crisis? Is my retirement income stable? Have I reduced unnecessary risks? If any answer is no, then now is the time to act. Learn how to spend mindfully, stay away from debt traps, and invest in choices that bring long-term calm instead of short-term relief. Because in the end, the most loyal form of support you'll ever have is the one that lives in your bank account and your decisions. Pillar 2: Your physical health. Let's talk about one form of support that no one else can give you: your physical health. No amount of love, financial support, or encouragement from others can substitute for the strength and function of your own body. After the age of 60, your health either empowers your independence or slowly takes it away. You could have financial security, loving children, and loyal friends, but if your health begins to fail, your freedom slips through your fingers. And while those around you may care deeply, they can't go for a walk in your place. They can't eat nutritious meals for you. They can't slow the natural effects of aging on your behalf. That duty rests squarely on your shoulders. Sadly, many older adults put off caring for their health, assuming that when things get tough, someone will step in to help. But even when your loved ones mean well, they have their own jobs, families, and limitations. Depending too much on others for your well-being can leave you feeling helpless and frustrated. That's why your health must become a top priority, not next year, not when symptoms worsen, but right now. Consider the story of Harold, a 68-year-old who had been athletic for most of his life. After retirement, he told himself he'd get back into shape later, but later kept getting pushed back. His stamina declined, Everyday tasks became harder, and the energy he once took for granted was gone. His children visited, but they couldn't be there daily. Eventually, Harold realized that if he wanted to stay independent, he had to reclaim his health starting that very moment. The good news, you don't need to train like a professional, just a few small, steady steps, walking daily, choosing wholesome foods, and keeping up with regular checkups can protect your strength and mobility. And if you've been ignoring early signs like chronic aches, fatigue, or imbalance, it's time to take them seriously, because your future doesn't just depend on luck or other people. It depends on how well you treat your body today. Your greatest support system, the one that never leaves your side, is your ability to stay strong, active, and self-reliant. If this message resonates with you, type number 2 in the comments so I know you're still with me, and let's keep going. Pillar 3, your social circle. As we grow older, one of the most subtle but serious mistakes we often make is becoming socially disconnected. It doesn't always happen overnight. Friends may move away, loved ones may pass on, and family visits become less frequent. Before we realize it, our once vibrant social life has quietly faded. But the truth is, isolation in later life isn't just lonely, it's harmful. Lacking meaningful connections can impact not only your mood, but your memory, your immune system, and even how long you live. Loneliness doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It slowly steals your joy, your energy, and your sense of belonging. Many people assume their family will always be enough to fill the social gap, but children grow up. Their lives become full with work, kids, and obligations of their own. They may love you deeply, but they can't always be the constant presence you once had. That's why nurturing your social circle is one of the most important sources of support as you age. True connection isn't just about being surrounded by people. It's about sharing laughter, feeling seen, having someone check in on you, and being part of something beyond yourself. Take the story of Eleanor, a 73-year-old woman who had always depended on her sons for companionship. As the years went on, their calls became less regular, and the weekend visits slowly disappeared. Eleanor found herself waiting for the phone to ring, feeling more and more invisible. Then she decided to take the first step. She joined a gardening group at her local community center. She reconnected with an old friend she hadn't spoken to in years. She even signed up for a watercolor class at the library. Before long, her life was full of color, again, not just on canvas, but in conversation, shared smiles, and simple joy. She didn't need to abandon her family. She just needed to open space for new, meaningful connections. Whether it's a walking partner, a book club, a neighbor you wave to, or someone you laugh with over coffee, these relationships matter more than most people realize. So if your days feel too quiet, or your heart feels a little too alone, remember, there is still time to reach out, to rebuild, and to rediscover the joy of connection. Your social circle can be one of the greatest gifts you give yourself, and it's never too late to begin. Pillar 4, your sense of purpose. There's a powerful source of support that many people overlook, not a person, but a purpose. After 60, life begins to shift in subtle but undeniable ways. The roles that once gave you structure and meaning, parenting, working, caregiving, begin to fade. Your children grow up. You leave the workforce, and suddenly, time stretches wide and quiet. Without something that gives your days direction, it's easy to feel like you're drifting. You may still be surrounded by family, but even the people who love you most can't give your life meaning. That's something only you can create. Having a reason to wake up each day, whether it's a small goal, a creative project, or a simple act of contribution, helps you stay mentally alert, emotionally grounded, and deeply engaged with life. It's what transforms you from an observer into a participant in your own story. Take the example of Peter, a retired architect in his 70s. He was excited to finally slow down and rest. But after a few months of watching television and taking naps, he began to feel empty. His kids called now and then, but he knew something was missing. Then one day, he joined a volunteer group restoring old buildings in the community. That one decision gave him a new reason to get up every morning. He wasn't just passing time, he was building something that mattered. Purpose doesn't have to be complicated. It might be learning a new language, teaching what you know to others, planting a garden, painting, writing, or planning a meaningful trip. Even a personal routine or a weekly goal can bring you back to life. If you've been feeling like your best days are already behind you, let this be your reminder. Your purpose doesn't vanish with age, it evolves. And the more you invest in what lights you up from the inside, the less you'll depend on others to feel fulfilled. Because in the end, the deepest support doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. From the fire that still burns in your soul and keeps pushing you forward. If that message speaks to you, leave number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here, and let's continue this journey together. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos filled with guidance, encouragement, and meaningful inspiration. Your support helps us keep creating content that truly matters. Pillar 5, emotional resilience. Life doesn't stop testing you just because you've reached your golden years. In fact, after 60, the nature of challenges shifts. You may experience the loss of close friends, deal with chronic health issues, or simply feel more isolated than ever. And while having a loving family helps, it can never fully replace the strength that comes from within. Emotional resilience is that quiet inner strength that allows you to keep going even when the ground beneath your feet feels uncertain. Many older adults assume their children or relatives will always be available to lean on emotionally. But the reality is, even those who love you deeply have their own lives, their own struggles, and their own emotional limits. If your well-being depends entirely on them, it can leave you feeling abandoned or disappointed. That's why building emotional resilience is so crucial. It's the ability to recognize your pain, acknowledge it with kindness, and process it in healthy, sustainable ways. Think of someone like Maria, a 75-year-old widow who lost her husband after decades of marriage. In the beginning, she leaned heavily on her adult children for support. But over time, she realized that they couldn't fill the deep, emotional space left behind. Instead of falling into despair, she took small steps to nurture her inner world, joining a support circle, writing in her journal each morning, and practicing gratitude before bed. Through these simple rituals, Maria discovered something powerful. Healing didn't require someone else to fix her. It required her own willingness to be gentle with herself. Emotional strength doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means allowing yourself to feel fully, then choosing to move forward anyway with grace, not force, whether it's through reflection, meditation, connection, or creativity. Emotional resilience grows when we stop resisting life's changes and start flowing with them. It is not a sign of weakness to feel deeply. It's a sign of strength to learn how to live through pain and still find meaning on the other side. At the end of the day, the person who walks with you through every single chapter of life, through every joy, sorrow, and turning point is you. That's why the deepest support system you'll ever need begins with how you care for your own inner world. Pillar 6, your ability to adapt. If there is one truth that becomes more apparent after 60, it's this: life never stops changing. People move, relationships evolve, health shifts, and the routines you once counted on might no longer serve you. The key to thriving in this chapter of life is not resisting these changes, but embracing your ability to adapt. The most fulfilled older adults are not the ones who try to cling to the past, but those who allow themselves to grow with the present. Too often, People assume that after a certain age, it's too late to learn something new or adjust to different circumstances. But that kind of thinking can quietly shrink your world. Adaptability is not just about survival, it's about staying mentally active, socially engaged, and emotionally open. When you make space for new possibilities, life continues to surprise you in the best ways. Consider the story of Henry, a 79-year-old former teacher. For most of his life, he found comfort in routine and face-to-face interactions. But after several close friends moved away and his neighborhood began to change, he started feeling left behind. He missed the familiar rhythm of daily chats, shared coffee, and evening strolls. At first, he felt isolated. But instead of giving in to loneliness, Henry decided to explore something new. With his granddaughter's help, he learned how to use a tablet. He joined a virtual book club, reconnected with old colleagues through email, and even started posting his reflections on a blog. Slowly, joy returned, not because life went back to what it was, but because Henry allowed it to evolve. That is the power of adaptability. It is not about pretending change doesn't hurt. It's about deciding that change doesn't have to defeat you. The people who thrive after 60 are those who stay curious, open-minded, and willing to try again, even when it's uncomfortable. They understand that when one door closes, another opens, but only if you're willing to look. Your ability to adapt is one of the strongest supports you can ever develop. It fuels your resilience, expands your world, and keeps your spirit youthful. The more you embrace change instead of fearing it, the more empowered you become. Every stage of life brings new things to discover, and your willingness to evolve allows you to keep growing, no matter your age. If you're still watching this and found something meaningful here, comment the number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and tapping the notification bell so you never miss another video that supports your journey to a stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled life. Final thoughts. Reaching 60 and beyond is not the beginning of decline, it's the beginning of a deeper kind of strength. Yes, it comes with change, with loss, with moments that test your spirit, but it also offers a rare opportunity to take back your life on your own terms. Throughout this video, we've talked about 6 essential pillars that can carry you through the later chapters of life. Financial security gives you peace of mind and freedom. Good physical health lets you stay active and independent. Meaningful relationships bring warmth, laughter, and support. A strong sense of purpose gives your days meaning. Emotional resilience helps you navigate the inevitable storms. And adaptability allows you to grow even when everything around you changes. These are not luxuries. They are the foundation you build beneath yourself, so you never feel like you're waiting for someone else to save you. With these 6 supports in place, you don't just survive, you thrive. You wake up each day not hoping someone will help you stand, but knowing you already have the strength within you. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What's one insight that touched you today? How do you plan to use it in your daily life? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. We read every one of them, and your words truly encourage us to keep going. If you found value in today's video, please consider liking, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell. And if you think someone you care about could benefit from this message, don't hesitate to share it with them. Your support allows us to continue creating helpful, heartfelt content to inspire and inform you through every season of life. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.